Hello everyone, we are back with another video. This one is on section 2.4 on using sets to solve problems. And we are looking at the first question here. Okay, so let's read. It says, in a survey of 88 college students, 74 use Snapchat, 33 use Instagram, and 22 use both. Use the Venn diagram to illustrate the situation. Okay, so what we will do is first create the Venn diagram so that it will be easier for us to answer the questions once we have the Venn diagram complete. So let me go ahead and just let me draw the Venn diagram. So I'm doing question 1, section 2.4. And so the first thing you want to do is go ahead and create the Venn diagram. And it is easier to complete the Venn diagram and then answer the questions once we have the Venn diagram drawn. And so let's see. We want to work from the center, from the inside out, from the center, and then expand. So it says that 22 college students use both Snapchat and Instagram. So 22 use both, so 22 goes in the center. And then we know that 74 use Snapchat and 33 use Instagram. So we're going to subtract. So give me a second. Let me just write this down and I'm going to share the information. What I'm writing here, because I know it's hard to see. It's a small screen. So let me write down Instagram is 33, Snapchat is 74. Total equals 88, and both S and I, sorry, is 22. So let me stop sharing here so you can see. Okay, so this is what I have, right? And we begin with, we know that 22 college students use both S and I. So right here, we know this is supposed to be I. So we want to write I here. Okay, so now we know that Instagram is 33. So we want to subtract 22 so that we can find the area here outside of the intersection, right? So we have 33 Instagram minus 22 gives us 11 for this area here. And a similar thing we're going to do with Snapchat. We know it's 74, but we need to subtract 22. And that gives us 52 here in this area. Now we know also that the total is 88, right? So we need to figure out the area that's outside of both sets. And so we count 52, 22, and 11. That gives us 50. That gives us, let me turn on the light here. That gives us 85. 85. So we know it's 88, so this must be 3, right? Okay, now we can answer the question because now we have the information, everything that we need. So we're going to go to the problem and answer the questions. Okay, so how many use Instagram only? So 1A, Instagram only, is the area that it's outside. It's an I, but outside of the overlap of the intersection of S and I, right? So it's going to be 11 for 1A, right? That would be 1B, sorry, because 1A is drawing the Venn diagram. So 1B is where the questions begin. So 1B is 11. 1C is asking us how many use Snapchat only. So we're gonna do exactly the same thing, Snapchat only. That is outside of the overlapping S, so that's gonna be 52, right? 1C is 52. And then 1D, it's asking for how many use neither Snapchat nor Instagram. That's the area outside, right, of S and I, and that's gonna be 3. So let me share. So I have for 1B, this is 1B, for 1B, 11. It's this area here. 1C is 52, this area over here. And then 1D is 3, the area outside of S and I. Okay, so that is question number 1, parts A, B, C, and D. All right. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. So see, number 2 is just like number 1, so please try this one on your own. I'm gonna try number 3 because it deals with percentages, so I wanna do this one. Okay, so it says out of 50 students taking a midterm psychology exam, 35 answered the first of 2 bonus questions, 17 answered the second bonus question, and 2 didn't bother to answer either one. Round your answer to the nearest percent. So again, what we're going to do is let us draw the Venn diagram first. All right, so this is number 3. And so the Venn diagram, part 3A is doing the Venn diagram. So we are gonna have, okay, so bonus question number 1, bonus question number 2. We're gonna have some people that actually answer both, right? So we're gonna figure that out. Okay, what do we know? So we know that we have a total. Let me write this down, and then I'm gonna share what I'm drawing here and what I'm writing. So we have total of 50. Okay, so 35 answered the first of 2, so 35 people. And then 17 answered the second, so 17 people. 2 didn't bother, 2 neither. And then I don't know the overlap, so I'm gonna the intersection of 1 and 2, I do not know, right? So let me stop sharing here. So this is what I have. Okay, so this is the first thing you want to do. So you have a total of 50 people being surveyed. And we know that 35 people answered the first bonus question, 17 people answered the second. We do not know what happened here in this. We do not know, I'm gonna put an X here. How many people answered both? I know that 2 people answered neither one of the questions, so 2 goes outside. Now I have to figure out, I know that this one here is going to be 35 minus X. And I know number 2 is going to be 17 minus X, right? And I know that together, all of this is going to be 50. So what I'm going to do is say, okay, write 50 equals, so 35 minus X, and then plus X, and then plus 17 minus X, and then plus 2, right? So make sure you understand what I did. The center, I do not know. The overlap, the intersection between the first and the second bonus questions, I don't know how many people answer both. So I write X, and I know that for 1, we have a total of 35 people, but I have to subtract 35 minus X for the region outside of the overlap, outside of the intersection. And I do the same thing for the region outside of the intersection for the second set here, 17 minus X. And I know that when I add the individual parts, they must add up to 50, right? So let's see what that's gonna give us. So 50 equals, and so we have 35. Okay, minus X, let's look at we're gonna combine like terms. 35 and plus 17 plus 2. Those are like terms. So let's see what I get. So we have 35 plus 17 plus 2 gives me 54. And then minus x plus x is going to cancel. And then I have minus x. Okay. Now, because I want to keep the x positive, I'm going to add x to both sides just so that I move the x to the right. So I'm going to add x to both sides. So that's going to get rid of the negative x on the right side. And on the left side, I have 50 minus x equals 54. Sorry, 50 plus x equals 54, right? Because I added x. And then I'm going to subtract 50 from both sides. And that's going to get rid of the 50 here. So x equals 54 minus 50, which is equal to 4. So that tells me that how many people use both Snapchat and Instagram is 4, right? That's what we were looking for. So x is equal to 4, and we can figure out then every other place, right? So this is going to be 4. 35 minus 4 is 31, and 17 minus 4 is going to be 13. And so you have everything that you need in the drawing. So in the Venn diagram, let me scroll down so you can see everything there. So there's everything there. And then let me scroll up so you can see the bottom again. Okay, so make sure that you get both bottom and outer. Okay, it's hard to fit the entire page in the camera, I know that. Okay, now, there it is again, and there's the bottom, okay, of the equation. There it is. Okay, let's go to the problem now so we can answer the questions. And so, okay, what percentage of students try both questions? Well, be careful with the way that this is being, that they're asking, okay, because they're asking for percentages. Well, both questions we know is 4 out of a total of what? 50, right? So because we know it's going to be 4 out of a total of 50, so we're going to write 3b. Because remember, 3a was just drawing the Venn diagram, so 3b is going to be 4 out of 50. And so that's going to give us, when we divide, that's going to give us 0.08 in decimal form. So let me share this with so you can see. But if you want to convert to percent, you need to multiply by 100. So if you multiply by 100, that's going to move the decimal 2 places, right? So it's going to be 8%. So for 3b, we have 8%, right? So 3b is 8%. All right, let's see. Let's move on to the next question. And so you see, that's how you're going to do these problems. So let me share my screen. And then 3C, what percentage tried at least one question? Okay, at least one question means that they tried one question. Either they tried one or both, right? So either they tried at least the first question, or they tried the second question, or they tried both questions. Another way you can answer this question is by looking at what they did not, how many people did not answer at least one, which was 2, right? And so that's 2 out of 50. And so the remaining part will be the part that actually answered at least one question. So I'm going to show you both ways, but let me show you that. Oh, hold on. I think I jumped one, right? But percentage just try both questions. Try both. Oh no, I did it right. 3B, sorry, I got confused. So 3B is done. I got confused to which one, what did I do? 3A or 3B? That was 3B. Okay, let's move on to 3C. What percentage tried at least one question? Okay, let me stop sharing here so I can explain. At least one question means, at least one question means they tried number one or tried number two or tried both 1 and 2, right? Both 1 and 2. So they tried at least the first one or the second one, or they did both. So we have to add all of these percentages together. So we have to look at, okay, so how many people tried? So let's go back to the wait, not to the question. Let's go back to the drawing I had here. So how many people tried both? So both we know is 8%, is 4 out of 50, right? So let's do, so number one, we'll come up with a number, then number two, and then both. Both we know it's 8%. So we can just write 8% here. Okay, but for number one, how many people tried at least number one here? Remember not to, you can double count. You already have this part here, so you're only gonna focus on the part outside. 31 out of 50 for the first bonus question. So 31 out of 50 is gonna give you, it gives you 0.62, which when you multiply by 100 is 62%, because you wanna write it in percent form, right? And for the second one, you're gonna do, you look at the Venn diagram and we have 13. Remember, you don't include the center here. We already counted this part. So it's only 13 out of 50. 13 out of 50, which is 13 divided by 50 is 26%. And then you're gonna add all of these. So it's gonna be 62 plus 26 plus 8, and you get a total of, you need to add all of them. So you need to add the 8% plus the 62% plus the 26%, and you get a total of 96%. So the answer for 3C is 96%. Okay, 96% tried at least one question. Most of the students then, right, tried at least one question. That's 3C. Okay, so that is 3C. Okay, we are done with question number 3. And let's see, let's go to the next question. Let me share my screen. Let me get some water while you draw, while you write that down. Okay. Okay, let's share my screen here. So we did 3. And let's see, 4 is similar, right? You wanna, just, it's gonna be similar to the one we just did. And also 5. So I wanna go to 6, because this has 3 diagrams. So notice that 4 and 5, I want you to try it because they're very similar to what we did here. Okay, so 4 and 5, please try on your own. And remember that the answers are in the back. I'm gonna do number 6 because this one has 3 Venn diagrams, okay? And let me go ahead and draw what I have to draw, but let's read. The financial aid department at a college surveyed 550 students. So you have a total of 550 students. Ask them if they received any type of financial aid. The results of the survey are summarized in the table below. So, you have that table there, right? And so I'm gonna draw the Venn diagram here. And we're looking at student loans. We're looking at the scholarships, the student loans, and grants. For those of you who are not aware, grants, you do not have to repay, just like a scholarship. You do not have to repay Pell Grants or scholarships, the only thing that you need to repay are student loans. But anytime you get a Pell Grant or a scholarship, you do not need to repay it, right? You do not need to repay. Now for scholarships, you want to double check the double check of the double check, right? As they say, meaning you want to read to make sure that you don't have to repay anything, but usually you do not. But the Pell Grants are totally free. And for scholarships, usually they come free also. Some scholarships require that the students work for the company a certain number of years, or you may, but you still need to read very carefully everything. So always check everything before you sign anything. Don't sign anything that you do not read, and always make sure that you understand everything that you read. Okay, so I recommend that you do not obtain any sort of student loan, at least not for undergraduate degrees. Anybody pursuing an AA or a bachelor should be able to get a Pell Grant or something, some scholarship without having to repay. And when you get to graduate school, then that's different. There you do, usually you do have to pay unless you pursue a doctorate, unless they fund you 100%. It's a different situation when you get to that level. Okay, so let me see. So we have scholarships. I'm going to use S for scholarships. 180 students received a scholarship. I'm going to use L for student loans. And for student loans, there were 230. Pell Grants, I'm going to use G for Pell Grants, is 210. And then scholarships and loans. So S and L, scholarships and loans, that's 50. L and G, loans and grants, is 100. And S and G, scholarships and grants, is 40. And then all three, S and G and L, is 30. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to construct. The key here is you want to, so this is sample 6. And 6A, we're going to do the Venn diagram, and then we're going to answer the questions after we create the Venn diagram. All right. Now, we want to start with, like I always say, from the inside out. So this is going to be, this is S, this is L, and this is G. Now, the area where the three overlap is the very center. So we know we have students that have received scholarships, grants, and loans. So that's 30 of them. Okay, so you write 30 there. Now, after you complete the center here, where the area that S and G have in common, then you're going to focus on the areas that deal with the intersection of the individual sets, like S and L, L and G, and G and S. So S and L, if we look here, S and L, we have 50 people. So S and L is 50. So if we already have 30 here, that means that 20 must go here, right? And then L and G is 100. That's this area here. So 30 is here already, so this must be 70. Okay, L and G. S and G is 40. S and G is 40, so you have 30 here, so that means 10 goes here, right? And that makes it so much easier. S and G is done. Now G is 210, but you need to count already for the ones that are already here, right? So then it's going to be 210 minus 20, 30, and 10, and that is going to give us, so for S, sorry, S is 180. I was looking at the wrong set. S equals 180. So it's 180 minus 20, 30, and 10. So it's 20 and 30, that's 50. And then 10 is 60. So 180 minus 60 is 120. Okay. And then L, so S is done. L is 230. But L, you need to subtract 20 and 30, which is 50. And 70 is 120, right? So 120, 230 minus 120 gives us 110 for L here. And for G, we have 10 and 30 and 70. So that's going to be 110. And G is 210. So then this is 100. Right? Now, how many people we have in total according to the question? We have to read the question. Let's read. We have a total of 550 students. Okay, so 550. So we need to see how many are outside of the 3 sets, right? How many did not receive any of them? In other words, they paid with their own money, or maybe they had a relative pay for it. So let's figure that out. So 550, and then we have to add all of these, right? So we have to add 120, 10, all of that. So let me see what I get. I get 120 plus 10 plus 30 plus 20 plus 110 plus 70 plus 100. Okay, I get 460. So you get 550 minus 460. We get 90. So 90 goes outside there. Okay. And now, okay, let me make sure that you get enough light there. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the question. And then we're gonna answer the questions here. So let's see. I know you see the light here. I don't want you to. Okay, how many students got only scholarships? 6B. How many students got only scholarships? So 6B, only scholarships. Well, let's go back to the picture here. Only scholarships, that's going to be 120, right? This area here, only scholarships. So 6B is 120. 6B is 120. Let me turn off this light. Maybe it'll be clearer. No, it's really dark. Let me turn on the other light. Hold on, because it's a little dark. Give me just a second. I think that's better. Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. I wish you were here so you can tell me how if it's visible. Okay, all right. So 6B is 120, right? How many people got only scholarships? 120. Now 6C is asking for, let's go to 6C. How many got loans, grants, but not scholarships? Okay, loans, grants, but not scholarships. So let's see. So loans, grants, but not scholarships. Okay, so we have to include 110, 70, that's all loans and grants, 110, right? Loans, grants, but oh, no, not 10 because that's a scholarship. So it's just gonna be the 110, the 70, and the 100, right? So it's just gonna be 110 and 100, that's 210, and 70, that's 280, right? So let's see, let's go ahead and share my screen here. So how many people got loans and grants, but not scholarships? Right? Loans and grants, but not scholarships. So that's 6C. And give me just a second. Let me verify. Let me verify something here. Okay. Let me go back to the workbook because I'm seeing something I'm seeing something here. It says and, not or. So let me take you back to the workbook here. Sorry about that. Yeah, we have to see it again because I think I missed one word here. You know, 6C, it says, how many people got loans and? So I was mistaken that with or. Okay, so loans and grants is referring to the overlap of loans and grants, but not scholarships. So back to the question, loans and grants, but not scholarships, we are in this part, right? Loans and grants is right here. We have to be in the overlap, but it says not scholarships, so we have to be outside, so it's gonna be 70. Okay, so it's not 280, it's 70. Loans and grants, we have to be in the overlap of loans and grants, which is this area here, but we cannot include the 30 because it says not scholarship, so it's only 70. Okay, so that's gonna be 70 for 6C. So I wrote it here, 6C. 6C is 70. And let me go back to the workbook. 6D, how many didn't get any of these? Well, we answered that question, right? It was 90 people for 6D. So 90. The ones that are totally outside of the 3 sets, that's going to be 90. So 6D is 90. 6D is 90. 6D. There it is there. Okay. All right, so make sure you understand this question. Let me scroll up here so you can get everything. Apologize about the lighting. It just got a little dark in here. It's kind of late already, that's why. So let me scroll down here so you can see everything. And there it is, okay. So 6A is a Venn diagram, 6B is 120, 6C is 70, 6D is 90. Okay, and let's see if we find another one that is interesting here. Let's see, okay, so we did this one. Now this one's similar, just work from the inside out, so it's very similar to what we did, number 7. Let me look at number 8. Well, I mean, if you want me to do one more, we can do number 8, just because it's more of a word problem, right? Versus number 7, it has everything organized nicely here, but number 8 doesn't, so I guess I'll do 8, right? So, okay. Be very careful when you read. Okay, as you read, make sure you're writing things down. Okay, so let's see, what do we have? Let's read. A TV network, so this is number 8. A TV network, considering new contracts to televise pro sports, hires a marketing consultant to construct a survey of randomly selected TV viewers, asking them which of football, soccer, and basketball they go out of their way to watch on TV. Of those surveyed, 25 watch soccer, 325 watch basketball, and 295 watch football, 90 watch basketball and football, and 570 watch none of these. Every single person who watches soccer also watches basketball, and none of those people who watch football. Okay, I just have to share something with you guys. I've been praying for rain because it's just been so hot, and I've been praying, Father, send us the rain. And oh my goodness, it's coming, guys. I am looking at the window, and I even see a sign that it says rain is coming. So, oh, I'll praise God. We really need the rain. So I've been praying for rain. It's been super hot here in San Antonio. I'm recording this July 14th. And my birthday is July 17th. So I'm recording this 3 days before my birthday, okay? And I know if you were here, you would say happy birthday. So let's see, the last question. What are we doing? We're gonna construct the Venn diagram, and we're gonna, it's 3 sets, right? So remember, these are much better, easier to answer if you just complete the Venn diagram before you try the question. And I know that kind of makes sense, but believe it or not, there's gonna be some students that they're not gonna do that, and they might get confused if they don't, okay? So, and then you start writing things down when you read, so, okay, we may have to read it a second time. So we know that how many people, okay, so we know we have football, right? For F is football, S is soccer, and B is basketball. And which one do you prefer? I would ask you if you were here, football, soccer, or basketball. I know my dad would prefer soccer. Well, he passed away, but he loves soccer. Oh my goodness, he was such a fan. And my younger brother, basketball is the main thing for him. And so I don't understand football very well, to be honest with you. So I wouldn't be able to say if I like it or not because I just don't understand it. Nobody has explained it to me. And as you can tell from my accent, I'm not from native from the United. I wasn't born here in the United States. So I grew up with pretty much around both soccer, more soccer than basketball. I also basketball. Okay, so let's see. Too much talking, I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, so 25. So S equals 25. Soccer is 25. 325 watch basketball. So B equals 325. And 295 football. So F equals 295. 90 basketball and football. So B and F is basketball and football is 90. And 570 watch none of these. So none equals 570. Every single person who watches soccer also watches basketball. So soccer and basketball is not empty. So I'm just gonna write is not equal to 0, it's not equal to the empty set. And none of those people watch football. Okay, so none of the people who watch soccer and basketball watch football. So then that means that there's no overlap between the three. Notice make sure you understand that. This sentence is kind of confusing because it says, the last sentence, it says, every single person who watches soccer also watches basketball. That tells me that the overlap between soccer and basketball has some people there. It's not empty. It's not the empty set. And then it says, and none of those people, so none of the people that are in the intersection of S and B watch football. So that means that there's nobody in the overlap of the three sets. There's no one in the overlap of the three sets. That is very important. Very important, okay? Because then that's gonna give us some idea on how we're gonna create the Venn diagram. All right, so let's go to the actual place where we create this thing. And I'll give you some time to catch up. So write this down while I drink some water. And I'm just gonna watch outside of my window for the rain to come. I'm looking at it, it's getting really windy. Okay, so let's see. We know, what do I know? I know that the B and F equals 90. So B and F. Okay, but before I go to B and F, what about this? Because remember, we always start at the center. So we know there's nothing here. So I'm just gonna put empty. Remember, this is the symbol for the empty set. Remember, we talked about this. So that's empty. And then we also know that S and B have nothing in common. So S and B have nothing in common. Right, so S and B, so that forces the intersection here to have to be totally empty, right? S and B. And then we know F. We know we have, what else do I know? we know F and B is 90, so this one is 90. And since we don't have anything in the center, this must be 90 here because we know it's 90. 570 people, neither. What about B and S? What do we know about B and S? That's nothing here, so there's nothing here, right? So nothing there, B and S. Okay, so that's done. And then F is 295. And B equals 325. So I can figure this out, right? What is this area here? This B here is going to be, so 325 minus 90. We get 325 minus 90. We get 235 here, right? Because I subtract this 90 here. And then I know that F is 295. So, okay, I got B here. S is 25, right? F and S have nothing in common, so this is empty here, right? Because F and S, notice F and S right here, you can see from this result that they have nothing in common, so that's empty. S is 25, so this must be 25 here. And then F here, 295. Well, I have to subtract, this has to be 205, right? Because 90 is here. This is kind of different. That's why I wanted to do this one. So let's make sure we have it right. Okay, so I always like to double check, right, of the double check. I learned that from a friend of my pastor. Always double check everything. So, okay, let me go back to the problem just to be sure, okay? And we know that, let's see, 25 watch soccer, so I got that right. 325 watch basketball. 295 football. And then 90 watch basketball and football, so B and F is 90. 570 watch none of the three. Every single person who watches soccer also watches basketball. That means S and B are not empty. S and B are not empty. Okay. Oh, I got it. Okay, I see where I knew there was something wrong. S and B are not empty. And so, okay, I have to check that one. And then we know, and none of those people watch football. Okay, then S and B and F is empty. But S and B are not empty. So I see where the mistake is. Let me go back. I knew there was a mistake here. S and B are not empty, which means that this S here has to be in S and B. And this is empty. So this is going to be empty, but this is not. This is the 25 has to go here, not there. Because we know S and B are not empty. Okay? Because remember what it reads here. Why do I know that? Every single person who watches soccer also watches basketball. So that means that every person who watches soccer also watches basketball. That means that the soccer and the basketball intersection has to have some elements. The soccer and the basketball is this area here. We know that nobody is in the center of all, in the intersection of all the three sets, but here, so that means that the 25 has to go here. Okay, so the right set is going to be empty here, empty there, empty here. So empty, empty, empty. And here is 25. Okay, so I'm gonna do another one, a clean one, because I don't want you to be confused. Okay, and please excuse me, I just got confused with the statements. Okay, and so F, S, B. Okay, this part has nothing, and that part has nothing. This part has nothing. This one has 25. This one has 235. This one has 90. This one has 205. And this one has 570. Okay, so this comes from the fact that S is 25. B equals 325, F equals 295. B and F have 90 and elements in common. None equals 570. S and B are not empty, so they have some elements. And the overlap of all three is empty. The overlap of all three is empty, but not S and B. And so that's the right Venn diagram. So here it is. That's number 8. Okay, number 8, all of it there. I'm gonna leave it there so you can get it. And then we're gonna go to the questions. We'll answer the questions separately. Okay, so there's a Venn diagram. Now we're gonna go to the questions here. And the questions are gonna be easy to find to answer once we have the Venn diagram completed. Find the number of people surveyed. Well, we know that we need to count all of them, right? And how do we do that? We just count everybody. We count everybody 570 plus 235 plus 25 plus 90 plus 205. We count all of them. And so that's going to give us, let's see. That's going to give us, okay, 205 plus 90 plus 235 plus 25 equals 555 plus 570. So I get 1,000. Let's see, make sure that I am counting right. It should be 1,100. It should be 1,100. So let me see. Let me count again. So 205 plus 90 plus 235 plus 25 plus 570. Okay, so that is, so we have 290, let's see, 25, 210. Okay, how come I have B is, let me see, there's an error here. B is 325. Let me see, hold on. 325 minus 90 minus 25. Okay. All right, let me take you back to the question. This one right here, guys, this is supposed to be, because look, it's 325, right? And it's 325 minus 90 minus 25. This should be, this should be 210 right here. I'm sorry. This part right here is supposed to be 210. This right here. Because B, remember, B is 325, and when you subtract 90 and 25, and you know, there's nothing to subtract here, you get 210. Okay, and that will give us 1,100 for the answer. So this is part A, and then part B is how many people were surveyed. Take you back here. Find the number of people surveyed. AB is 1,100. Okay. And thank you for your patience. AC, how many people watch only football? Well, the only football is 205, right? Because that's the part that that's here outside of the overlap of S and F, and then and the center of all three, the overlap of all three, and then the overlap of F and B. So is this area here 205? So that's going to be 205. They like football only, 205. And now, how many people watch only basketball? Only basketball, AD. So that's going to be 210, right? Because that's this area here, only basketball, the 210. So D is 210, only basketball. And yeah, I thought that something was wrong. I'm glad that, you know, I have access to the, you have access to the answers. Remember, they're in the back of your workbook. So you can be looking at the answers there to see if you did it right. And, I always have a copy of the answers so that I can verify that I'm doing it right, just like everyone else, because we make mistakes, and you need to stay humble. So there's nothing wrong with you having the answers right there with you, just to verify. But the answers are really not telling us how to do the problem, right? They're there to help us see if we did it right. So always check. And so let's see, I think that's all we have. Let's see, let me go back to the workbook and see. 8, yeah, because the next set is infinite sets. I mean, the next section. So, all right, I guess that's it. So thank you very much for your patience. I'm sorry for my mistakes. I hope you found this video useful. And let me know. Give me some feedback on the videos. I always ask for feedback. And you guys have a blessed weekend. It's Thursday, July 14th today. So the weekend is coming and the rain is coming too. So God bless you all, and I will see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.